So you got a birthday, huh?
Yeah, first birthday. Amelia turned 1. We got to go to. Have you been to the aquarium at Great Lakes Crossing?
No, I have not.
It's really cool. That mall's also huge. I was so surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had malls like that anymore. But I guess it's the biggest one in Michigan. So
Nice.
that was cool. There was nobody there. Fidget. Yeah, there was nobody there. I think we ran into like 5 people.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and
That's
then
awesome.
and then we got to take her to Rainforest Cafe, which she thought the show was pretty cool, but she was towards the end of her time.
Burnt out.
Yeah, she was pretty upset all the way home. So,
Yeah.
and she wouldn't fall asleep for whatever reason.
Yeah. I remember those days. It seemed like, some of the best memories I think I made with my kids were before they could probably even remember them.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's cool to have those and give them new experiences and get the pictures to show them where they've been and, take them as they get older and see how they kind of develop and grow and understand and learn new things about, what they're seeing. It's kind of cool to watch. It's cool evolution.
Yeah, it's crazy what they lock onto at that age. And they
Yeah.
just like the things that you wouldn't think they would even pay attention to.
Mhm.
Anything that's at eye level, they're
Yeah.
aware and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
grabbing it and they're doing whatever
Yeah.
whatever they can with it.
Yeah. I miss those days. It was it's always cool to see how a kid everything is an amazing new thing. New experience, new anything. It's the coolest thing in the world. And I think that was has been one of my favorite parts of being a dad is, watching my boys see new things, and every cool thing that they developed into or did or learned was always amazing to watch. It was like the coolest thing ever. I remember telling friends that didn't have kids and they're like, all right, yeah, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, if you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
It's really, I think it'd be beneficial for people to try to keep that childlike, at least wonder about things. Like, I think it would make things so much easier as far as trying to learn a new skill or just viewing it that way. I think it's a super positive way to do it. So I've been trying to be like, oh,
yeah.
because, like Amelia will look around and I don't know what she's at, but she's slapping her hands and she's like,
Yeah.
she just loves everything. And I'm trying to do that myself just to be like, man, isn't this so cool? Even if it's just something lame, because definitely more positive.
Yeah, I think it's important to try and remember the more creative and, imaginative side of life, especially when you have kids yourself. I think a lot of people get caught up, in the rat race. I do too, and stress out and forget that life looks a lot different through little lenses. So it's important to keep yourself in that space,
Yeah, I do it all the time. Like anytime, at least lately, that I've been like, man, I want to do this or I want to do that. Like something that's probably not necessarily a good idea, whatever it might be. And then I go and either I'll pick her up or I'll go play with her. And I'm like, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to do any of this stuff? I just want to hang out with her and play around. I think not everybody has to have kids, but I think it's truly enriching as long as you take it in stride and don't just assume like, man, this sucks. I want to go do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't because I have a child. Like,
yeah, I think having kids is one of the best things that's happened to me. It's definitely been the hardest, and it's, called and challenged me to be a better man, and try to be, at least, and definitely on a different path now, having them than I probably would have been on. So it's been a good thing. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
And I've had 2 now, so it's like, I know that I would do things different, if I could. But it's nice to still have them young enough to be able to affect the things that I'm learning as I'm, going through it. So kind of blessed to still have time, before my oldest is out of the house and everything.
The B.A.D Project is about finding those small distractions that keep you moving when life tries to pin you down. That's what our gear stands for. They're reminders you can wear, carry, and share to push through those hard days. Every shirt, every hat, every sticker helps spread the message. When you're wearing it, you're not just buying our merch, you're backing the mission. We're building more than just a brand. As we roll out B.A.D activity events, your support helps make them possible. With new drops, holiday specials, and surprises always around the corner, we really are just getting started. If you want to go even deeper, hit our new Patreon for Bad Thoughts episodes, bonus content, behind the scenes, and a closer seat in this community we're building. We're even doing giveaways. So check out the gear at thebadproject.com, hit our Patreon, and follow us on all the socials to stay locked in. This movement's only growing, and you're going to be a part of it.
I've always been really good if I have a purpose, and that's been my purpose now, which is awesome.
Mhm.
I'm good if I have a goal to strive for, or some sort of responsibility, which I think that's been the most positive effect on me. It's given me a sense of responsibility outside of just my significant other,
Mhm.
trying to take care of her. Now I get to take care of a family, and
It
it's the
definitely
coolest.
gives you a higher purpose. That's something I think, like we as men are here for. I think like we're called to be that in life and to find those things that are supposed to help us grow and develop into more. I feel like we don't have like the same types of like rites of passages as other cultures. I think we should have more of that here, just kind of passing on to our kids, as they develop. But I don't know, it's been a blessing for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think you would try and instill in your kids? What do you want to leave them with the most, as far as what you know now, and being a dad?
I would say, just because I was a pretty safe kid my whole life. And not that you should take unnecessary, dangerous risks, but it's those little things like asking the question, not feeling so dumb about it, not being worried about how other people feel about you as much, which is super hard. And I probably won't be able to totally instill that because she's going to be growing up and she's going to have to deal with it. And I know how that goes because it's easy to say like, this won't matter in 10 years or this won't matter when you're older. But at the time, it's like, it's really hard to do. But I would say, definitely like be weird, follow the beat of your own drum, do your thing, and don't be worried about how other people feel about it because you can't force anyone to understand what you're all about, especially if it's like, an offshoot thing, whether it's video games and, some people just don't get how could you possibly want to do that all day. And some people just love it. And that's how it is. But like, I don't know. I as long as she finds something that makes her happy, and as long as I can try to help her avoid some of the pit stops that I've hit in life where I got stuck somewhere because I thought something mattered too much, or I was too worried about making someone angry when really they probably, like most of the people I've ever been around, they understand if you just say something to them.
Right.
If they're your real friends, they're not just going to freak out and get angry. And it might be what they need to hear and it might not be.
Yeah.
But either way, like, I don't know, just kind of standing on business a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. I remember being young and definitely being in my head way more than I needed to.
Yeah.
And, especially now with my kids, I know like my youngest, I talk to him a lot about school and how he's feeling about different things and friends and all that. And I find myself reminding him often to just be himself. And, times change and things come and go. And I think I was so worried when I was younger about the opinions of others that it, really did affect the potential and my follow through on that potential, especially in those years, So yeah, I'm trying to facilitate as much as I can with mine in terms of like, growing into whoever they want to be. And I think so far, I think I'm doing okay. They seem to be very intelligent boys, so I'm blessed, very blessed to have them. So I've been lucky, especially considering the way that I was growing up. Like I should be getting it far worse. So I'm just soaking that up. I'm pretty grateful for that. And there's things that I want to try and pass on to them as they get older. And I think for me, that's something I do probably worry about and stress out about still is trying to create the time and the experiences to be able to show them how I would get through certain situations, or for them to know where to look to find those answers, you know. So trying to create that time, especially my oldest, he's a sophomore in high school now. So
you're fighting for that.
It's
you're
like,
fighting for minutes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the time that I can when he wants to be around. So it's been cool. I'm trying to get active with them. They both like to hit the heavy bag and work out and whatnot. So that's been a cool thing to bond over them with. And just keep looking forward to that.
Yeah, it can be really hard to find time, especially these days. And now I know exactly what that's like, because I used to think I was busy, but now just trying to, thank God we have free babysitters from my mom and one of her aunts. So like we have it, and that's a godsend, because man, if we were paying $300 or $400 a week, like apparently most places do,
just wait.
On top of trying to pick her up, on top of trying to, everything, the rent, all this stuff.
Yeah, it gets incredibly expensive. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you plan on having more kids?
Yeah, we've talked about one more. I'm not totally sure where we've landed on it yet, just because, do we wait till she's a year and a half or almost 2 to start, or, we both want to.
Yeah.
And, obviously I'll be happy either way, boy or girl. It makes no difference, especially now. Like I was worried about having a girl at first, because I was like, man, what am I going to do? Like I've never been good at talking to girls anyway. So now I guess I get to do it all the time, but like,
you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Not in that way. It's a different angle now.
Exactly. But yeah, I would like to have another one, so they can pal around together. And she's got her cousin, but
I wish my boys were a little closer in ages together than they are. They've definitely, I think, come to have a closer relationship now, more so than when they were younger. A lot of bickering when they were younger.
What is the difference between them?
15 and 10. So my oldest is going to get his license in about a month. He'll be 16. And but when they were younger, they used to bicker so much. I was kind of, running around to different sports, trying to separate them in the back seat while we're going to baseball and soccer and all that.
Yeah, 5 years that's close enough to where they don't really totally understand each other, but they can argue like they do. Where my middle brother's 10 years older than me, so after a while it just wasn't cool to hang out with me.
Every crew's got that one guy who shows up late, drinks gas station mud, and wonders why he feels like trash by lunch. Don't be that guy. Construction Coffee Co. isn't cheap sludge. It's small batch coffee roasted to keep you moving when everyone else is crying about their backs. Smooth enough to sit black, strong enough to keep you upright when your foreman's breathing down your neck. Fuck that guy. And yeah, they've got gear too. Shirts, hats, workwear built tough enough for the job site, not that pajama junk your apprentice wears. This stuff actually holds up when you're crawling through mud or hanging steel. They're there for you to roast beans and roast you, just like you do with your buddies on the job, because that's the culture. Talk trash, laugh hard, and get it done. Construction Coffee Co. Clock in, drink up, shut up. Go to constructioncoffeeco.com to get yours.
Yeah, it's I know the feeling, because I am the youngest brother. Yeah. Also the biggest.
I was the oldest, and I definitely felt super disconnected once I got to high school. I felt real disconnected with my brother. I think we're closer now than we have been ever as adults, or at least since we were children, like through high school and all that. I definitely wasn't anyone that needed to be around a developing mind, wasn't the right type of example at that time. But
it's also really funny, like thinking back on it now, like, and I don't even totally know where it comes from. It's probably just growing pains, but like all of a sudden you don't want to be around your family. You don't want to talk to anybody. Like I wonder if that's just a hormone thing, like as you're growing up. But it's
I don't
funny
know.
to see how it all comes back. Because
Yeah,
now
man.
every time I get to see my parents, I'm very happy to do it. But as a teenager, I was like,
Yeah, I was
hang out by
gone.
myself.
Yeah, I was gone all the time. Sun up to sundown, I was
Mhm.
gone. I ended up moving out early, like way earlier than I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Some friends of mine in high school rented a place out, and you know, we were throwing the parties and didn't have to listen to anybody. And I was in high school. It did not help me in any way in terms of just learning some lessons. So I mean, maybe some character development, but I squandered a lot of really good opportunities just trying to be away from my mom and those responsibilities. And
Yeah.
I always wanted to grow up and do everything I could as fast as I could. And it, those are the things that I'm trying to relay to my kids.
Slow down,
or
enjoy
anybody
the
else.
journey.
Yeah, anybody that needs to hear it, that it's okay to appreciate where you're at
Mhm.
and let yourself get to the things that are going to come,
Yeah.
when they're supposed to happen, not pushing for them.
Yeah, well, life can pick up real fast. Like
Mhm.
this past year is blown by. Like I got my registration back, or to put on my truck again.
Mhm.
Been expired for 2 days, and I was like, man, I swear I just put that sticker on,
Oh yeah.
and it was last September,
It
a
gets
year
worse.
ago. I was like,
Yeah, especially
heck?
when you have kids. I
Mhm.
know you'll experience it, Nate. I know you have your daughters. Like it picks up as time goes on. It goes faster.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe my oldest is about to start driving. My youngest is in 5th grade. Like my youngest is like right at the age where he's getting too big to be like cuddly anymore.
Yeah.
And it's weird because he's still like so sweet and has like such an innocent, personality, and he's like so kind. And so I just, it's like my little buddy. And it's like there will come a point when like the last like our last hangout,
Oh,
or
yeah.
oh dad, I want to sleep with you, like
Mhm.
can I watch a movie with you? Like
Yeah.
that stuff just kind of fades.
And be that last hug where he's like,
Mhm. Yeah.
Dad,
Yeah.
stop.
Like I can't tell you the
My
last time
friends are here.
I can't tell you the last time I threw him up on my shoulders or anything like that, and he's like almost 5 foot now. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be awkward if that
Now you got to
happened.
start doing like fireman's carries with him.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead,
Yeah.
he can
Yeah.
carry you, you carry him.
Yeah, for sure. He does. He tries all the
Yeah.
time. So, yeah, man, it goes quick, but it's something, like you said before, like gives you purposeful living
Mhm.
and makes you really intentional about what you're doing and how you're operating. It's, it's very rewarding as fast as it does go by.
Yeah. Get a lot more patience out of it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's been one of the biggest things I've learned, especially like if I can't soothe her and make her happy and she's just crying, learning to be able to, shut that out a little bit, understand it's not all your fault,
Mm-hmm.
just keep trying to do something or go lay her down for a minute or do whatever. Like that's been probably one of the bigger things for me was getting that patient.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I learned a lot from my first onto the second, and I think it's okay to be, especially with your daughters, to be, as loving and endearing as you can, especially when they're young. I think little boys need it too. They want to and need to know that you're there for them, and
Mm-hmm.
then as they get older, then you can teach them the lessons about self-reliance and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about bonding with them over, whether it be working out or boxing. I'm hoping that when she's like 3 or 4, that I can start getting into some kids' classes for
Mhm.
jiu-jitsu, and I don't know, maybe she likes Muay Thai.
She should learn how to defend herself anyways,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
good thing.
that's going to be something I'm going to be on top of. I told Katie, I was like, I want her to be really nice and caring and whatever.
I was
But
going to say
I was like,
jiu-jitsu
I
and
want her-
carry.
I want her to be a tough bitch too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I want her to, if necessary, react before
Mhm.
anything happens.
Yeah.
And just, then that just comes with like, especially for girls, being aware of your surroundings,
Absolutely.
And boys too, and being able to run fast just in case, because that's always your best option. Run away, get away from the situation if you can help it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm really hoping that she falls in love with jiu-jitsu like me, and we can do that, because I'm already, trying to play guard on her, throw her arm bars, triangles.
Yeah. Get her used to
her defense
the
is
movements.
awful right now. So, but she does love being put up in the air and held and flipped around. So I think she'll be into it, or gymnastics, which I don't know.
I think what I've learned with my boys is that anything that I'm genuinely interested in that I do with them, they're up to a point also genuinely interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think anything that you're willing to do with them and engage with them, that's what, like, kids, especially with devices and whatnot, as she gets older, it's really easy to let the devices take some of the time, especially when you have so much to do, like in life. I know I'm usually, like, I do all the things, especially with my youngest. And so it's like between getting him home from school, getting him home, making dinner, cooking, cleaning, doing all that stuff. It's hard to find time to engage. So, I'm trying to get him to help me cook and learn different things that he's going to have to do someday, just to try and find things to do with him. But anything I'm engaged with him on, he seems to be super receptive and, into, wants to do with me. So
yeah, that's a good feeling though.
Yeah.
Especially like you can keep getting him to do those Spartan races with you.
Yeah. We did that. He was pumped about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just trying to build on that kind of stuff and have him feel like he has my attention. That's, I think, one of the biggest things. I'm sure she'll be the same way if you're into it and it's something you do with her. I'm sure there'll come a time when she feels challenged and isn't into it. And then that's the time you get to teach her the lesson of persevering through something that seems difficult, or whatever the case may be. It'll be a good example of sticking to something. And
yeah, man, don't get me wrong. Like, I know exactly how that feels. It's, especially if you're new, it can be terrible having someone's full body weight on you, or, sweat getting in your eyes and mouth, which I'm usually the one doing that to people because I sweat so bad. But yeah, it'll be interesting, because I know, like, back when I first started wrestling, I had told my parents, I was like, I might try to get to the first meet, but I think I might quit because it was hard. Like, we had our middle school coach was mean in a good way.
Yeah.
But he was a very mean guy.
There are different types of coaches, for sure.
Like, he was definitely shut up, rub some dirt on it, very much. Like, and I appreciate him so much for it. But at the time, it was like hard. But I'm so happy that I stuck around and just kept doing it. So it'll definitely be something I'll be trying to remind her of, that, this stuff isn't forever. This pain or this annoying thing isn't forever.
It's tough. It's tough for anybody, like, even as adults. I know I've come and gone in terms of my physical fitness or my activities that I'm doing. I haven't been in jiu-jitsu in years, and I definitely would love to get back into it. But even as an adult, I'm like, I don't really want to get back into the gym. If I go, once I get back into that, and then I got to go roll with these guys, and all the stuff that comes with that. And, I talked myself out of it, so I wouldn't a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so easy to talk yourself out of stuff. Like, I do it all the time, and I should just shut up and go do more of it, because, again, I only have so much time and I need to use it wisely. So
yeah, absolutely. So
tomorrow, hopefully I'm going to go do some judo at 6:00 at night.
Awesome.
That'll be
awesome.
Great. And I'll be tired, but it's stuff it's the only time I have time to do anything.
Yeah.
So
I totally get it. I've been forcing myself to do small workouts and, like, boxing workouts and drills with my kids. And it's fun, though, watching them do it, seeing their development, seeing their progress, and knowing that I'm at least trying to show up in some way for the things that I know I want to be able to do, that I should be doing. And I should do more. I'm trying to build on it, and habit stack. And I add to it all. But I think it for me will get easier as we're getting into like the fall and the winter. It's a little less busy during the winter in the industry, of construction. So I'm hoping here as we get a little colder, I might have a little more free time. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You have a free membership down there?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm, especially in terms of trying to get my boys involved, I'm definitely willing to pay for a membership, and I'm hoping that there are the types of classes that will be beneficial for them to get into, that make it worth it to do that. Because I try and hit the bag with them all the time, but I can only take them so far in terms of that, and I don't necessarily want either of them. Like they play sports, they do soccer and lacrosse and kind of do their own thing there, but if they ever wanted to get into boxing, I'm mixed on that just because like you don't play boxing, exactly. You can get really hurt. And
if you do play boxing, you have a false sense of what you can do and deal with. Right. That's a problem.
And then if something does happen out in the real world, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of scenarios that aren't great, and taking blows to the head isn't ideal.
Yeah.
For anybody, let alone like a kid growing up. But if they ever wanted to, I guess it would just be, we'd take it as it goes kind of thing and see what happens. I don't necessarily think it would be terrible, but there are other things I would probably push them and gear them towards. However, I do think training in multiple areas of like martial arts, boxing, being able to have ground game, I think it's all super important. So I'd really like to get them continuing to do boxing, and then also maybe get into jiu-jitsu, some form of grappling, wrestling, anything like that I think would be really good for them. I think it's good to be well-rounded, especially here. I think we should be cultivating that type of mentality, all the positive things that come along with having to have the discipline to do those activities. So I think it's something that we need more of in kids, and less gaming and less screen time.
For sure. It's also good for developing a well-rounded athlete, and it helps you see a lot of things. Like I wish I could have played lacrosse. That probably would have been a lot of fun. I didn't necessarily always have the eye-hand coordination for it, but I might have developed, who knows, but it was always a really interesting sport that I haven't watched a ton of, but it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're all fun, right? Like I wish I was doing adult like sports. But you know how it is as a dad and a working dad. Like it's very hard to. I'm going to sports for my boys. I'm not trying to drag them to sports for me per se. I'm just making an excuse, I think. But it is hard to find the time. So maybe someday I'll get into it.
Well, shoot, a couple of years ago, before I had a kid, I was like, man, I'm gonna go play club rugby. And I'd never played rugby before.
That'd be cool.
I didn't do it, and now I'm like, fuck, dude, I could not. I don't know that I could do it right now because it just, once I got back in shape, it might be easier. But also, if those guys drink and hang out like I've heard, then I probably wouldn't be in that much better shape. It's just a tough thing, but like a toughness and get her done sort of thing. But yeah, I always thought that would have been fun to do, but now I'm like, man, I'll probably get all jacked up and run over by some freak.
Yeah. That was one thing in the training that I was doing is it got to where getting injured became, part of the equation, where it was like, if I end up injured, then I can't work. And now I have kids to take care of. And then when I went through my cancer experience and had to continue working, I just had to drop something, and all the training and stuff went by the wayside just because I couldn't afford to put myself in a spot not to be able to work. I was getting caught up with that. So, I'd like to get back into some sort of athletic, especially team sport. I think it'd be fun. I just have a small circle, really. And so it'd be fun to do something more engaging, and actually run around and like have fun like a kid. It's been a minute since I've done that. So, Maybe we can get a dodgeball game together, or like a kickball or tag or something.
Dodgeball with medicine balls.
Tag would be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we all do something, we can
go play tag in the park.
Yeah.
I
I have a vivid memory of booking it down a hill when I was a kid and watching over my shoulder and turning around and smoking a tree and just getting destroyed and leveled. Quite funny. My aunt reminds me of it every time I see her.
Yeah, that makes me. That's where I learned how to look where I'm going. Because I was at my neighbor's. We were riding bikes around the house, running from each other. Doing tricks, which was just like a little bunny hop or whatever. But I looked back, and then I looked forward, and I took my head off on their boat ramp or their platform coming off the back. And yeah, that's always reminded me to make sure I look where I'm going.
Absolutely.
It's terrible.
Let go of the rope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of small injuries, hopefully it's no big deal, but I did attempt to throw someone very stupidly today, and my ribs are hurting now. So we'll see. But that's just the price you pay, I guess, for wanting to be a cool guy who throws people.
Yeah.
You got to be.
Ribs are not fun.
Yeah.
They hurt bad.
This isn't nearly as bad as the first time I did it.
Yeah.
I did it in a competition, and luckily I was much better than the person I was, competing against. So I was like, man, I got to end this now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just able to submit him real quick, but then I couldn't do my absolutes. I couldn't do, which I'm glad, because the dude who I would have gone against in the absolute was a friend of mine from 10th Planet, and he was like 400 pounds at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost some weight, I think, since, but not cool, not necessary.
Yeah.
Not for a $10 medal or whatever.
Yeah, that might have furthered that one.
As long as I end up on the bottom.
I've definitely had my fair share of rib, toe, finger breaks.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely not fun. Could not do the work.
I've never broken a bone.
No.
Not yet.
Oh, man.
And I've been hit hard and you're falling off things.
You're missing out, man.
I mean, I got a couple dents in my head from falling off playground equipment, hitting my head on bolts or whatever, but...
I mean, you got to get the fingers. I'm surprised doing jiu-jitsu you haven't snapped a toe on the mat. It's oh man, that used to get me, the pinky or the ring toes,
especially some of these mats that have the gaps in them.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous. Or if you don't have a good border, you're going to hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm. Cass & Co. Upscale Thrift is redefining resale. Think timeless fashion, luxury brands, and curated pieces, all at prices that let you stay stylish without the splurge. Whether you're hunting for vintage classics or this season's designer staples, we'll make high-end accessible. Dress like you own the runway for a fraction of the price. I know, like for myself, I definitely want to have, faith has been something I've tried to incorporate. Mm-hmm. And at times it's not been much, and at other times it's been stronger, like with my kids, but definitely the sense that like there is more to us, and there is a higher power is something that I want them to be able to draw on and draw, draw from and as they get older, and kind of develop that into whatever they want it to be. But I definitely think that in some way, shape, or form, we all get put to a point when we're struggling deeply with something, and whether it's friends or books or community or whatever it might be, something helps to orchestrate us, and pulls those things into our lives to help us, get through. So I think it's important for me anyways, to, try and give my kids the opportunity to grow into some sort of faith for themselves as they get older.
Yeah, I think, I didn't grow up religious. Like I used to go to church with my mom for like Christmas. But after a while I was going because no one else would go with her. Everyone else, my dad didn't want to do it. My brothers were too cool or whatever. So it gave me time to hang out with my mom. And, I went to some, like Bible daycare camps and summer camps and stuff, and it was fun, but it wasn't all that focused on the actual religion or anything. And it's been something I've struggled with my whole life. You know, for a while it was like, why would I give up why would I give it up to something that there's something I couldn't handle myself, that I need someone else or I need something else to be like, give me the strength or do this. For a long time when I was younger, I was like, it's kind of weak thinking. I've changed my mind on that some, because I do see the benefits that people get from it, you know, being able to lean on faith or not, you know, I always feel like there's a limit, because it is still a hard thing for me to lean into.
Does having your daughter now, like since you've had her, has that brought that into relevance?
Yes and no. I think right now I'm still getting so lost in just trying to stay above water that I'm like, I don't even know where to look necessarily. Like I've always been of the opinion that there's something out there. I just never wanted to call it God, never wanted to call it whatever, her, she, him, any of that kind of stuff. But I do feel like, I mean, it kind of gets into like, is karma a thing? Is destiny a thing? Or do we actually have free will to do things? And I still, honestly, I still don't know where I land on it, but definitely like,
when we do our next book reading club group together, I got my next couple of books picked out for you guys, but they're all interrelated.
Yeah,
would be my answer for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like sit there and think about cause and effect of how things work, or I don't know. It's still a very confusing thing for me. I would like to believe in something, but there's always going to be a part of me that's like, I want to just believe in myself, which, and I think the main reason that I want to feel that way is because I didn't believe in myself for a really long time.
Absolutely.
At least like from a mental perspective. Like I used to always put in to be like sports, tough. And I wasn't stupid. I loved reading. I loved doing all that stuff, but I never believed in myself to speak out loud and say anything. I didn't feel like anyone wanted to hear what I would have to say, which I guess the jury's still out on that part, right? But yeah, I've always just tried to believe in myself.
Right.
That's been a big focus, and that would be what I would try to put on her. And if she wants to find something else, 100%. You know, find something that makes you happy. Find something that gives you peace. And you know, can always change. There's always
absolutely,
as you learn more stuff, what you want to focus on. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people, you know, especially people who get sober or whatever, they like to have that to look back on, to lean on a little bit, along with the community they build at AA or NA or whichever they're doing. But yeah, I just it's still something that I'm going to be developing through my life to really, you know, I hear great passages all the time and great like small things and bits. And you probably got to relate the whole puzzle together to really get a view of things.
It speaks to you in different ways, you know, and that comes to us as it's supposed to. You know, I don't think there's any way to, like convince someone or speak on something and just use like words to convince someone about like faith or religion or anything like that. I think it calls you to be, you know, or it calls you into understanding. I think that's biblically like what it says in there about it. I just know for me, like when I, you know, seeing my kids being born and watching them develop over the course of time, and then like, of course, my like having cancer and
that'll bring
having a different, you know, having a different kind of perspective thrown at me with a little kid at the time. I think pushed me into a direction of wanting to find something, you know, and I never did initially fall in line with any type of certain religion or philosophy or anything like that. I try to take the commonality in all of them, because there is a commonality in all of them, and I tried to put those together into kind of my own philosophy. But I mean, I guess as time's gone on, I think I've gotten more into like scripture and things like that, and I feel like there's definitely things that have been positive and beneficial. So, you know, I definitely encourage you to keep searching if that's something that opens itself up to you. I'm not trying to, preach to you or anybody else or anything like that. I'm not one to do that.
And I think,
nor am I qualified or any type of good enough person to be speaking on that.
I think you're a good person.
Trying to develop myself. There's always whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. I think we inherently have a desire as people and men to want to grow. And, so it's been good for me, I think.
Yeah, and I like what you said about, I like philosophy, like the idea of having a philosophy, not necessarily the philosophical writers, but they're great too. But like having a life philosophy, I think is very important. And it sounds more palatable than being like, I follow this religion or this thing or whatever. So I definitely like that.
Yeah. We're kind of like, we're all winging it. We're all winging this, and we're trying to take as much knowledge as we can from history and from everything that's been before us and what's happening now. And we all have to create our own kind of philosophy to get through it, and I just hope that whatever I am able to instill in my kids is beneficial for them and helps them here and now and beyond.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know initially what pushed me away and what I would never want to do to Amelia or anything, but it was the pushing.
Yeah.
It was you're going to go to hell if you don't believe this.
Yeah, the fire and brimstone.
Yeah, or any of those silly things that I don't know how they survive, how those religions survive when when you just tell people that they're bad for being alive.
Yeah.
If they don't assume their shame and stuff, like, I mean, that's obviously a pretty specific part of religion, but yeah, I think initially throughout my life that turned me off. So that was something I'd never want to do.
I think through time in the history of it, life was less comforting than it is now. Like we live and we've lived in a time that's extremely comfortable compared to times of the past when it was more about like survival. Oh, yeah. Now we're not in survival mode like we used to be. And I think the fire and brimstone comes from the eras of time that were far more serious and more about survival, and the element of the spiritual was tied into everyday life more because it was such a life and death or, type of everyday living. So, I think that there can be a case made for like the seriousness of the battle between like good and evil and the spiritual kind of battle that I think I see, at least in the world. Everybody knows good and bad, and you can see that kind of ebb and flow in the world that we live in, whether or not you believe in anything more or not. So I think that in people's urgency and desire to try and like save and try and direct the way that people would think, the message, of the love and comfort that goes along with that got missed, and it got really really pushed, and I think still does in some places. But I feel like overall, from what I see, there's a lot less of that. I don't see as many people talking about the fire and brimstone, although I do think that there's an element to living in that way that did help people to have more intentional lives. I think part of the reason we have so much of people getting lost in social media and like losing who they are and what friends say or what what other things are in life are because they don't necessarily have an identity in themselves and the higher power. You know, what I've learned in the commonality of all these religions is that, like, in different philosophies, is that like the higher power, like God, is within you, right? So you should be able to do these things and master certain things, and it shouldn't just be all on someone else doing it for you. You know, there is an element to you doing that, also partially provided by the power within you, you know, in your soul. And I think people have lost sight of, like, how they're living, whether it's good or bad. A lot of people just are focused on either making ends meet or the next, like, dopamine hit, you know, especially some of, like, the younger people with, like, you know, being online and the different apps and all that. It's like you see people doing stuff that's so out of pocket and so, like, just, like, I don't know, not stuff that I would ever think would be popular or famous or anything like that. And it's like, that's what, you know, is relevant right now. And it's just kind of sad to see. So it's a bummer that people have been deterred because of things like that. You know, like, you'll go to hell, like, no matter what, like, unless. And, you know, hopefully it's not as bad for everybody. I hope people aren't feeling that way. You know, I hope I don't teach my kids like that. You know, I hope they don't think that.
I mean, it's definitely not a good way to give someone any self-confidence.
Yeah.
If you just, you know, if you've been told from a young age that you're screwing up and you're born of sin or whatever, you know, whatever initially it starts out as, like, it's just not a great, I mean, I guess you really have nowhere to go but up if you take it correctly, but if you don't, you might just sit there and wallow.
Yeah.
And you know, it's I can definitely see the benefit that people find in it, especially for finding themselves. Because if you're comfortable in your own skin, but you don't feel alone, like, if you truly believe God's within you, then I guess it's not easy, but it would be easier to be like, be true to yourself. You know, God knows my true intentions, or whatever knows my true intentions and how I'm trying to approach things, whether or not people agree with me. Like, if you can become that self-actualized, I'm sure that takes a long time, and I'm sure people fail at it all the time. But if you can, I can totally see the benefit to you're not worried about anything. You're like, it's all good.
Yeah,
I am trying to live a righteous life, whether or not you know, obviously you fail sometimes, but yeah. I mean, I definitely I can see the benefit to that, because even if you're alone, if you don't feel alone because of how you think about things, then hell yeah, good stuff, good for you.
Yeah, I definitely think you know, religion is man-made, or has been passed down through man, right, to every culture. So I think that it's a tool to help people find the divinity within themselves, you know, that ties their soul to who they are in their life. And I think even if you're not religious, I think that inherently a lot of the core like eureka moments and revelations that happen in life are similar, you know. And if you're trying to live an aware type of life, or, you know, self-realization, whatever you want to call it, where you're looking inward and how you relate to things around you, you know, I think it all comes down to the same types of thoughts and philosophies and how we live. And, you know, just got to kind of make it as we go, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the principles are definitely great. If you just followed that alone, you'll probably live a pretty good life. You can just follow the general principles.
Yeah, I think so.
And, you know, that doesn't, you know, maybe you read the books, maybe you don't, but if you can find just find a way to try to
live better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Live well. It's definitely something, since I've had my kids, that I've, you know, struggled with, but also I think has made me a better person overall, is just trying to be more intentional and mindful of, you know, purposeful in what I'm doing every day and what I'm saying. And definitely had my bad moments and
for sure
moments of struggle, you know, especially having kids young. So that makes
it even more intense. I mean, lucky for you, they're gonna be old enough at some point that you're still gonna be like, man, I mean, you might not feel young, but you'll be young by comparison to our parents, probably, or whatever.
I think so. I'm usually at the school events. I'm usually one of the younger parents. It feels weird.
Yeah. So you're here to see your little brothers play, and you're like, no.
Yeah. I do have the gray coming in, so it is. If I grow the beard out, there's more, more gray in it, so I'm starting to fit in a little more, I think. I definitely come across as younger, I think. So
yeah,
I definitely would say I have a different style than most of the other parents out there. So.
Yeah, you got all your tattoos too. Like, yeah, it's probably different than some.
A little bit. I'm not the standard PTO member, so
you're not on the board yet.
I haven't really gotten the invitation, so maybe someday.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a cool thing. Like, I'm happy I had her when I did. Not that it, wasn't a plan. We didn't plan on this, but it's awesome.
Yeah, man.
That being said, like, she'll be 10 and I'll be 40. That's pretty good.
That's cool, man. Yeah, you're still, maybe doing some growing up with her, but you're young enough to have the creative side and the imagination and be able to explore those things with her.
Yeah.
And more if you guys have more.
Well, and that's brought out a lot more in me. Because, like, I spent a lot of my time being so serious. And, I mean, getting into a relationship helped with that, too, to bring me out of my shell a little more. But, yeah, I was always so serious. I mean, I could be goofy and shit, but I was all the time. I still am. I'm still very serious.
Yeah, I'm pretty serious.
Unfortunately, like, especially at work. Like, I don't really mess around at work.
Yeah.
I just work.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like my dad in that way. But I definitely, when I get to hang out with her on Fridays, which is my favorite, I get 3-day weekends every week.
Nice.
By choice.
Nice.
Sometimes it sucks, but working the longer days sucks. But
I definitely don't play around at work ever.
Yeah.
Don't mess around. Ever.
Never, ever, ever.
Never, ever.
But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, because, like, it's not like my dad didn't spend time with me as a kid, but I want to make sure that I have at least one day every week where it's just me and her.
That's cool.
All day long.
That's important.
And at least if you can find the time.
Yeah.
And eventually there might be some times where I have to go work 5 days.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But that's just how it goes. But yeah, as much as I possibly can for the foreseeable future, I want to make sure I get at least one day alone with her every week.
Yeah.
Where we just get to hang out. And as she progresses, we get to do more stuff. So once I can take her swimming, or we can go to the lake together, or whatever it is. But it'll be really cool. And so as long as I can stick to it, yeah, it'll be great. And especially, later on down the road, if I'm working from home or something, that'll be really cool.
That'll be very cool.
Because then I'll just be like, all right, I got to sit down for 2 hours, and then we'll hang out the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better thing, and I'm sure she'll get sick of me eventually and not want to hang out with me. But
I'm sure.
At least I'll still be around to be like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just got to soak it up while you can,
Yeah. I've heard that they don't stay young forever.
No. Like I said earlier, it goes super quick. It goes, it goes so fast, and I'm like still at an age where, like, technically I could have more kids and do things in a better way, and they'll, have that life the way I've wanted to. But I also have been, I think my oldest kids my kids would enjoy it, but I think that I've been a parent since I was, like 21, and my entire adult life has been a lesson in learning to be a dad and a better man, and not to sound selfish, but I kind of, like, there's a part of me that wants to be able to enjoy the time that I have here after my kids are old enough, to take care of themselves, and to be able to enjoy that, maybe soak in some different things that I wasn't able to do.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I would want the same things. My perspective on what I want and what's fun has changed, but I wouldn't mind having a little me time,
Absolutely.
before I die. So
yeah. I mean, I really I had an issue with the way that I heard older people talking about, or just people in general, friends and whatever, like, oh, you're having kids, get ready to have no life, or, oh man, your life's over. Or even like people used to talk like, my kids are my greatest blessing. I've never had a bad time. Like, you don't think I've had an awful time when she was crying and I couldn't help her and I couldn't do anything about it? Like, it's not all cool and fun. But like, it might be horrible, cool, a second later, horrible again. Like, I've really come to despise the way that some people talk about how it's just the greatest thing all the time, because they're lying, and they're lying to people who are having children.
Yes and no. So the first thing is, nobody will ever understand until they have kids, right? Like, nobody can actually get it. And there's probably a ton of stuff said to you before you had your daughter that was, oh, it's going to be this way and that way and this way and that way. And none of it matters, because it's all your own experience once you have her. And none of that matters. But I think a lot of the people that feel that way are looking back on it. And when you do look back on it, like, like, I remember there being terrible times at night, but I also miss those times. Very much. And I think as you go through time, you're going to understand that perspective of like, oh, it was wonderful and all that. And maybe there's people that are lying through their teeth as they're currently going through it. And that would irritate me also. But, they might, if you can be grateful for it in the moment, like when she's crying at night and you're holding her and bouncing her, I'm sure you've had the thought like, well, at least I'm getting this time to console her, And,
and I don't even mean that. I just mean like, because if that is a good perspective that I haven't, like, I didn't totally think about it that way, but like, because obviously the overall is a good thing.
No, there are times that suck too. People are full of shit if they say that it's all, cookies and rainbows, because it's not. And
I've been extremely lucky, because she's been, for the most part, healthy. I got her sick like last week for a day, so no big deal, thank goodness. But like, I've been very lucky that she's not too crabby. Sometimes she's just a little needy, which is just a baby, just a baby thing.
Having healthy kids, like, generally, and wholly healthy kids is a blessing in this day and age, definitely.
It's gives you a whole different appreciation when you see, like, because just having one kid is hard. It's hard to hold them, pack their stuff, put it all in the car, don't forget it, go somewhere, unpack them halfway, change a diaper on the bed of your truck, and then, oh, she's upset, I didn't bring a bottle. Like, there's so many little things, and I couldn't imagine if I had to, like, also carry around a wheelchair or whatever, some sort of breathing machine or something. And so, I've been very, very, very lucky that she's just healthy, good stock. Let's say that.
Good genes.
I think she's gonna be a horse. It's gonna be awesome in a good way. I don't mean horse. You know what I mean? I got to figure out how to talk better. And
thoroughbred.
Not make. I don't need to say something, make her be like, don't talk about me like that. No, I meant it as a good thing. Like, I don't see it that way. No one wants to be called a horse. Like, I would.
Just thoroughbred. Good genes.
Yeah. It's in my genes. American Eagle. Point is, kids are cool.
Kids are cool. I appreciate mine. It's nice talking to you about this stuff, getting a better understanding of how it's been for you since you become a dad.
And it's good to hear. It's good to hear your perspective, being farther down the road. And I mean, eventually I'd like to sit down with Nate too and hear the middle part, because it's kind of like that. Like, I'm at the beginning, he's in the middle. You're not at the end, but you're farther. You're like half middle. You're like three quarter.
I'm getting old. Man. I'm getting old. I'm gonna have grandkids. I don't feel old like that. Like, it's weird. Like, I'm aging.
Oh man,
is it though?
I was just.
I mean, I think it's good. I think you're as old as you feel, for sure. But it is weird. There's times that like I'll catch a different glimpse of myself or feel like I'm stepping into a new perspective in myself where it feels like the age is
starting to catch up.
A little bit. Like I definitely see myself in a different way or feel myself in a different way than I used to, and it's weird.
Yeah.
But I think that's what life, the journey of life. It's like this constant evolution of perspective and winging it.
Yeah.
So
shoot, I've been feeling it at work. I'm like trying to read my tape measure, and I'm like, what does that say?
Yeah, man.
My eyes are just, I need a new prescription for these glasses, but my eyes are just going downhill. If it's a little too dark, I'm like, what?
Are you getting up when it's like, so now I can feel when it's colder and wet out. I can feel it in my shoulders and my knees before I even step outside. Are you there yet?
Not yet, thank God.
That's a fun one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, do you have any metal?
Coming.
Do you have any metal in you?
No.
Oh, damn, it happens either way.
Yeah.
Because that's...
I already know what
Yeah. No, it just happens with wear and tear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not yet, but I guess I'll let you know when it does come.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just...
it's coming. Don't worry.
Now it's like just too much sodium. I feel bloated and like thick.
Yeah. Yeah. Eating healthy definitely helped. I was going to say, how's that got you feeling? Physically, I'm sure it's an adjustment getting back into it.
Yeah. It's probably... I just need to make sure I'm getting better workouts in during the week to kind of keep my body going and keep progressing forward. Because right now, like, if I get super busy and I don't really get great workouts in throughout the week, then I usually hurt for the first 3 or 4 days because I can still go in there and go just as hard as I used to. I get tired faster right now because I'm not in the kind of shape, and vaping is no good for you, obviously.
Right. Yeah, I know. For me, I care far more about like range of motion and overall like strength than I ever have before. And I used to focus on just trying to grow and be strong. And now it's like you can do that and work on the range of motion. And that's the thing I miss the most is having like a full range of motion and feeling flexible and it not feeling stiff, So that's something I've been trying to incorporate more into the routine is stretching and, I don't know. I miss doing yoga. I've only done a little bit of it, but I definitely missed it.
Yeah, I've been lucky. That's been one of my gifts throughout my life is I've been weirdly flexible for as big as I am sometimes. And it's something that I used to work on a lot too, is to get even more flexible and do stuff. But I mean, you don't see too many big guys being able to like invert and do guard and stuff like that. But it's been a natural talent of mine, but I wouldn't mind getting back into yoga too. Cause I only did it a couple times up at Washtenaw when I was going there. And it was really nice. It was a really, I went to like a more advanced class. I was like shaking and sweating, but
yeah, I was hurting in there. I did a month or two at a studio that was doing the hot yoga. And
best kind, unless you slip and fall.
It was tough though. It was definitely, I think the first couple weeks were really tough, but then I got into a groove, I think for about a month that I really, really enjoyed and would like getting back into, because I try to meditate and, do breathing exercises and then also work out. But in the morning, like that was such a nice, incorporation of both to be able to do like a mindfulness body, those movements were super nice. And, I definitely miss that. Like to get back into it also.
Another thing I heard I've heard is very difficult, and I don't know anyone that does it outside of women, but Pilates, I've heard that's pretty intense for like small, tiny muscles. And just stuff you never think of using.
I have heard that. However, you will not catch me doing it.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be doing it. I mean, if I find one somewhere hidden from everyone else, I might try to play around on it a little bit. But yeah, it's probably not something I'm going to get into. But
yeah, everybody's been bringing up ice baths to me. And Noah, my youngest, has been, when we come over here, he's been every time, oh, can I get in the ice bath? And he, he's 10. And every time, and I'm just like, I'm not. Why am I not?
Yeah.
Why am I not? doing that with him, you know, like that would help. That would be good for Dad. And he's just showing me up right now, man, making me look like a puss. Yeah, every time he gets in there, and he's like, "Why don't you?" I'm like, I'll make the shower cold for a minute, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of depends what you're doing it for, right? Because everyone online, whether it be sauna or ice bath or whatever, they're always talking about like, oh, the health benefits of this and that and blah, blah, blah. I always liked it. Ice bath is like, it's adversity. And it's not comfortable, especially if the water's moving or if you move around.
It's a challenge mentally and to your nervous system.
Yeah, and for me, it was always the mental challenge, and I used to fail it all the time. Like I'd jump in and be like, "All right, I got 3 minutes," and I'd make it a minute and a half, or a minute, or 30 seconds, and I'd be like, "No, can't do it today." So sometimes, you get beat, but it's the same thing. Like it was never about like, ooh, physical recovery.
Right.
It was like, man, like especially after jujitsu, it'd be like, man, this is so nice. I get to cool off.
Yeah, it feels good.
And then the same thing with the sauna. I used to love just sitting in there again to suffer on purpose. I'd just sit in there for as long as I could handle
Saunas
it.
are nice though, man. Sweating all the bullshit out. It's
Which
nice.
actually, I'm gonna bring I need to talk to Garrett about it, but I'm gonna bring my sweat tent here. Because it's just all wrapped up, and before it gets all eaten by the mice, I want it set up.
Yeah, you should.
So that we can
do
all
an
use it.
episode. We can do an episode where we're all crammed into it.
Yeah,
Yeah, where we're all crammed
could,
inside.
We could all fit.
Yeah. You can do it in there.
We can take breaks, but yeah, if we get it to 130, I'll sit in there for an hour. I swear, it's awesome. I bet we could fit all of us. Someone would be. I'll sit closer to the furnace.
The more uncomfortable and tight it is, the better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be a great episode.
Yeah.
I think everyone wants to see that, and it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge.
I would not really suggest it.
No, unless everyone will pass out.
Yeah, you might pass out.
You need the oxygen in there, especially with 4 people.
Yeah.
We know who's going to give up first.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it'd be really cool. Yeah,
Cool.
Like I said, that's all it ever was about for me. Was the adversity,
Absolutely.
a little bit of pain.
Which good. I mean, you're pushing yourself through it. And there are health benefits to it. So,
it makes you feel a lot better too, and then it makes other decisions throughout your day a little easier. I think.
Absolutely.
You're just like, it's not as big a deal.
Yeah, when I do the cold shower thing, I know I'm not doing an ice plunge or anything like that, but I feel like I'm more relaxed. Like I'm not as emotional, during the day. I don't know, I can feel that there's less cortisol pumping through my veins when I've done a cold shower in the morning.
Yeah, I would definitely say like if you're already here, you do something like that. It could just be working out too, but usually it'll bring you back down to here, and you might creep up a little bit throughout the day, but it's not nearly as bad as being all the way, halfway there and then going all the way there,
right? And
just being stressed out all day. So
yeah,
that's my favorite thing about either one of those. Which I haven't done an ice bath in a while.
Yeah, I started doing the cold shower thing again, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Just like I noticed that my drives into work. I'm working in Detroit, and like by the time I'd get there with traffic and people driving like they do, like I'd be up here, and then I'd notice that I was getting burnt out by like lunchtime because just so much adrenaline and cortisol had been already used up that I remembered like, cold shower or ice bath or whatever, is good for that. And since I've started doing that, it's definitely helped. I'm not like, I don't feel the need to rush in the morning as much as I was. And I don't feel like the spikes of adrenaline or the cortisol, the stress. So that's been super helpful. I'm sure my kids will appreciate that. If I can avoid a heart attack, it'd be great.
I mean, outside of getting the kids ready in the morning, what is like a general routine for you? Because personally, I wake up about 15 minutes before I'm supposed to be on the road.
Oh no, I couldn't do that.
Well,
once upon a time I could, but not anymore.
Well, and here's the thing. This is the balance I'm trying to find. So I get up at 4:50 or 5 in the morning every morning. to try to, get ready, get out the door. Right now I'm working a little bit closer to home, like 30 minutes as opposed to an hour. So that's a little easier, but I'm trying to figure out, do I really want to get up at 4:30 every morning because get up. I mean, I'll just have to go to bed earlier, but I also don't want to do that. Yeah. So do I need to, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to find this in between where I can be happy, get up, maybe do a little tiny workout, stretch.
Well, it'll change for sure as, your daughter goes through different levels. If you were doing daycare or when she starts going to school, it might change your routine a little bit. But for me, the morning was always the time, like that was my me time, and I've always liked getting up early so that I was like awake before the rest of the world is moving, and if I wanted time, it's really hard to get it in the evening, especially if you're working hard during the day, you're tired, you want to be able to spend time with your kids and then you're like exhausted.
Yep.
And it's hard to do anything like meditate, at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night when you're exhausted. So I have just always been a morning person, but I just started getting up earlier because I knew there were things I wanted to get done every day that I didn't have the time or energy for. And I kept falling through on with myself, letting myself down with like meditating and reading and the working out. So I just started being more intentional to do it in the morning. So my normal morning consists of getting up and immediately starting some coffee. And then I try to have some water to get, kind of the blood flowing a little bit. And then I try to meditate if I'm having a hard time meditating, because sometimes it's really hard. I'm an anxious person, I think, naturally, and just like I worry about stuff and so I try to get into like some gratitude in my mind, like thinking of some things I'm grateful for. Like I said, always settles me down. And then I'll sit, like if I can't meditate, I'll just sit quietly and I'll just put a timer on for 10 minutes and I just sit there in silence. And, most of the time I can get kind of into that, meditative kind of state of mind, I guess. But even if I don't, just sitting quietly still brings me all of those same benefits, and then I'll try to do a little bit of reading and then a short workout. So most days I get most of it done.
Yeah. Well.
Some days I'm definitely just drinking my coffee. But I know that it helps me not scroll, and scrolling is, to me, it has been like a huge waste of my time and has distracted me from things that could be more productive. And so I'm, I try to just not even really pick up my phone in the morning, and I try to just leave it and do those things for myself just to make sure that I'm doing what I can to help the rest of my day as much as possible. So at least if I do like those things, I can go to bed at night, aside from trying to be a good dad and take care of my responsibilities and like, at work and home, at least I can feel like I showed up for myself, and maintain. It's hard going from like knowing that you're not doing what you could to jumping back in and be motivated and be disciplined and doing it. So like whenever you're motivated to get back into doing something that's healthy, like do it so that you can start there, because it sucks getting to a point where like you have to, or you feel like you have to, versus like, oh, I'm enthusiastic about this. Yeah. And then you just got to build it into a discipline, which I struggle with some of that.
All the time. I'm a yo-yo guy. I've been 200 pounds. I've been 260. As far as fitness goes, I've been up and down all around with it. But yeah, all right. Well, sounds like 4:30 it is. Up before the enemy, as Chaco would say.
Yeah, man. I
Probably
think
be better for me.
I think you'd appreciate it. It's like you time that nobody's going to be able to, nobody will influence. Yeah.
Because nobody wants to be up.
Yeah. Well, but it's great because you're like up in the world without having anything else affect you, Yeah, it feels good. Feels good. I definitely need to get better with, I've been doing some of the operation and just stopping and going. And I think this week I want to be very intentional to really get going on the B.A.D operation again. And I'm going to be focused on making sure that I show up for that every day. I might as well. I'm trying to tie other things together. So
Yeah.
my intention.
No reason not to. That goes for me too.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason not to try it.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to check in again together on this and see where we're at with it when we get another chance.
I know it's a you and Garrett thing, but how's the weight?
I started coming up, and then this past week I dropped back down a little bit. So I think the last time I checked, I'd put on about 10 pounds. So
Sweet.
I'm still trying to get another. I can't remember what I said originally. I think I was wanting to get like 30 pounds, but I might have just said 20. But I'm slowly making progress. But it's tough for me to eat enough during the day. That's just between stress and being busy, keeping myself busy, too busy to stop and eat is probably the biggest thing.
So you need to get you a Camelback with a bunch of milk in the back.
Yeah, man.
In it, or what, protein shake?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Suck on it all day while you walk around.
That's not a bad idea. Definitely getting the steps in though. But you know how that is, man.
Get you a wheelchair so you're not walking everywhere.
Yeah, I have to build up some. I need the leg strength, man. I want to build up my core and my legs. Get a good base.
Back.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
It's great. Yeah. But yeah, I'll check in with you on it. I'm keep myself, motivated on trying to hit the numbers. I know Garrett seems to be pretty consistent with his working out as far as I know. So cool. Very cool. So now they're just maintaining. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make sure we start it tomorrow. That way I can have a little more updates on some things.
Yeah. Good idea.
Are you doing it or no?
Yeah. I need to look at the sheet again.